The following episode of the Carnival of Randomness is sponsored by an important message to you, the people, from Upsitnik and Associates. Every day there are forces that are taking from you, stealing from you. Your money, your time, your freedom. Immense faceless corporations, banks, credit card companies, insurance providers, government agencies, this list goes on and on. When you are under attack and facing crisis, turn to us, Upsitnik and Associates, attorneys for you, the people. When every day becomes a battle, we can advise and assist. We have been advocates for 40 years. Email us through upsitnikslaw.com or call us at 1-866-391-3299 or reach out to us through Upsitnik and Associates on Facebook for a prompt, no obligation communication and consultation. Don't be pushed around.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. That's a good word to use for this episode of Carnival of Randomness. And this is our limited series that we do that's unlimited, that will keep going because we love the guests or they'll beat us up if we won't have them on. It's of Rage-Onomics. This is Son of Rage. And this time, I call it the reality zone because you have all these shows with hot air on there. We have people, we want to really talk issues and be serious with people who know what they're talking about. And have some fun, too. And just try to educate, make you think, make you mad. And because I want to drum up some intelligence, we have Rob here to help us.
Hello.
We have a representative for the New York Tourism Board, Jeff.
What's up?
We have B. Dave.
How you doing?
And Zach.
Oh,
and
I'm still here.
The way we'll just do this is, okay, Jeff, since the last time, you had some issues with New York.
Yeah, what's
How's it been
been
going?
Same issue. Hey, hold on, though. Before I go, I want to say thank you to Rob for... so Rob does a series on YouTube occasionally where he'll give drumming lessons, and he did one on air drumming. And I got to say, when I was driving here, I killed it. Wow. Killed it. The amount of people driving by giving me the horns up and the thumbs up, unbelievable. I was rocking out to Triumph.
Where can
Fight the Good Fight. It was
Where
great.
can you check that out?
Yeah.
No, it was really good.
We'll throw a link on
You
there.
should. Yeah. Where can you have a link for it and everything? We'll toss it on the
So
link.
definitely want to just say thank you for the lessons. Greatly appreciate it.
Excellent. Did you use the blinker as the click track while you were drumming along is my question.
I did, actually,
Excellent.
and it helped. It helped
did.
out a lot.
It threw off everybody behind you, but
I wasn't
keeps
really worried
one.
about them because I thought about them. They were just following along with the music.
well, they're followers and you're the leader.
Well, exactly.
There you go.
Forget the link, though, because it's still the Gothic Toad stuff, and Dave will pull it right down and come to your door and sue your ass.
Dave's on anybody. Anybody using the name.
But Jeff, still loving New York?
Yeah. So all right. So I love the state of New York. I think the state of New York is very diverse, has a lot of things to offer to individuals, whether you're skiing, fishing, hunting,
Air drumming.
mountains, air drumming, great air drumming environment.
Cider.
So, yes, actually, cider's really good. The craft brews are coming along well.
I
mean,
found that out.
there's
I
a
have to
lot.
interrupt.
There's-
There was a person I met from Missouri in a bar years ago, and he just said, "You guys got great apples. We have good steaks, but we don't have apples."
That's the thing. What are we, one of the largest producers of apples in the country? Us
I
in
would have
Washington,
no
us in
idea,
Washington,
man.
I believe.
I heard something like that, actually.
Yeah, and that actually, being serious, I believe New York and Washington are the two biggest producers of apples in the country.
Well, I mean, look at Hilton. I mean,
Unlike
Right.
D.C., which is the biggest producer of assholes.
asshole.
Oh, shots fired!
Yeah, So I say that because the last time we did one of these, I think my last parting shot was, fuck New York State.
It was that.
It actually
Jeff,
not
I'm
actually.
sorry, I have to
It
interrupt
was.
one last time.
I literally
You're
said
allowed
that.
to speak your mind on
Yeah.
the show. Open up.
Yeah. So.
Quit holding back.
And I want to make sure people understand that when I say fuck New York State, I mean fuck New York State and their government. It's a fucking joke. These people are clueless. They can't get out of their own way. They make shit difficult for everybody. I mean, it's amazing. Just sit back and look at the shit show that goes on. Like, nothing gets done. Nothing. And I really feel like in today's society, the people in the middle are just getting squeezed from both ends. Look, God bless you if you did really well, started a business, got it growing, you're really, really wealthy, and you're taking advantage of everything that's offered, including some favorable tax rules. I mean, go for it, right? And if you know you're down on your luck and you need help and need assistance, there's a ton of assistance. But the people in the middle are just getting screwed. And it's the pressure from both ends. It's like, and then it's just arguments back and forth. Like, you just can't get shit done. And then if you want to open a business here, I think the last time I talked, I gave everybody the update on all the shit that I've been going through. Fucking still going on. It's still fucking going on.
It's
What was
been
it, like
months.
2 months
Yeah,
ago?
it's been
3
2 or
months
3
ago?
months.
I called the state and I said, hey, I'm calling to get an update on my license that I need for this business.
Was that to sell kitty cats?
No.
Wrong business.
Actually, I'm thinking about doing that, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a little, you know, kitten farm.
Kitten farm.
Yes. You know, everybody's got puppy mills. I think I'll do the kitten farm.
Correct.
So I call up, and this was last week, Tuesday. And I call and I give them all the stuff, my Fed ID, all the shit, and they're like, okay, well, we sent you the paperwork back because we declined it. I'm like, yeah, you declined it because I sent a check in for $144 because you told me it had to be $144 because the check I sent in before that was $288, and now you're telling me it was $288. So I can't understand what the hell you guys want. Whatever. Where's my license? Well, when did you send it in? January 26th. Remember, this was last Tuesday. Oh, yeah, we're working on paperwork we received December 13th. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, seriously? It's March, and you're working on paperwork from December 13th? How come every other state I can do this all in 2 weeks online, and I've got to use the fucking Pony Express with you guys? No wonder Amazon pulled out of your deal. You're a fucking joke. And I hung up. I'm like, fuck this. I just got to sit back and wait. What are you going to do? And they talk about being business friendly and they want to drive, you know, open more businesses here.
Yeah,
and,
just provided they're
just
not based in New York.
Fucking paperwork after paperwork after paperwork. And you can't do any of this shit online.
Well, I have to bring up their friend John Adams off in Buffalo today. He brought up the point the governor will brag about, well, we cut unemployment. Yes, because so many people have left the state.
God.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my
Unemployment's cut
God.
because people are gone.
Well, I thought, and I think it was New York State, I could swear it was, but I saw something where we're at the point that so many people are leaving this state that the high school graduation numbers are starting to go way down. And it's not because people are getting dumber, which really they are.
Let's listen to this podcast.
But it's less about stupidity and more about people smartening up and saying, I'm getting the hell out of this place. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, the population in New York State has gone down. And I actually said that, I actually made that comment about unemployment when I was talking with representatives from the state trying to work on getting this business up and running. And I go, the governor here sits and talks about how unemployment's at an all-time low in the state. Yeah, no shit, because there's no people. The people are leaving. The businesses are leaving. And oh, by the way, and the people that are retiring, those jobs aren't being replaced because those businesses are like, hey, we'll put it someplace else, and they're moving out of the state. Like, when are you going to wake up? But it's a great soundbite to say unemployment's at an all-time low.
And yeah, because there's 9 people in New York State.
Well, and then you have this is the impact of social media, right? People just read the headline and go, "Oh, hey, great!" Like, use your fucking brain, man. Like, look at both sides of the coin. Get all the facts. Don't go, "Hey, my buddy on Facebook said this happened." Oh, it's got to be true.
I always say, it's almost like that cognitive dissonance, just weirdness propaganda, the big lie where. Look at your own life, like the personal here. The economy's great here. Well, I'm doing shitty, but it must be the guy a couple blocks from me who's doing well.
Yeah.
Well, and don't forget what Lincoln said. Never believe everything you read on the internet.
Yeah. He said, just, F Google.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he said that.
And a lot of it's just like the information. There's a quote by Richard Ben Kramer, who's a novelist. He's written everything from Vince Lombardi to politics. And he said journalism, the problem now, it's just infested with a biblical plague of dickheads.
That's a great quote.
Wow.
And that I think a lot
That's
of
going
ways
on a shirt.
the media doesn't help it because they don't report. They just listen to this guy, don't question him.
Well, I don't even think there's journalism anymore.
I
It's more opinions.
You guys,
There's no reporting. It's all opinions.
Here's
No,
the
it's all
deal.
sharing the story that somebody else wrote.
Well, here's the deal. And I'm being serious here. And maybe I go into my conspiratorial Rob mode that my friends love me so much for. But it's true that you go back decades, and the branches of government like the CIA control the media. It's a proven fact. They've got everybody in their hands, and they dictate to the mass media what the story's going to be about whatever happened, whether it's a shooting here, a false flag here, whatever. We are being played, and it's all over social media. It's your nightly news. It's a big pile of shit, and that's why I turn it off.
Is that a red dot
I don't
on your
either.
shirt?
Huh?
Is that a red dot on your shirt?
I know, right?
Only the Weekly World News. Otherwise, I don't buy it.
Weekly World.
Dude, the
National
Weekly World News provided me my weekly updates with Bat Boy and Elvis being a movie theater
I'll
usher
give an
somewhere
example.
in
And here's
Tennessee.
a little question I'm going to toss on. I'm going to be showing my knowledge of the comic Pogo. The comic Pogo, they always say this line, I've seen the enemy and it is us. And I'm just looking, we have in one district here, we have a former judge who got booted for being drunk, who stole from taxpayers for years,
Now she's
trying to
running
run
for
for
something.
office.
Yeah.
And my view on that itself is some of
She
these...
did not lose her fucking license. She served jail. You're an attorney, and you went to jail for doing shit wrong. You lose your license.
Well, but
I
she's
don't
still,
fucking get that.
She could still not run. I thought I heard because she's still going through something where if
Yeah,
she's
she hasn't been convicted yet. She
Yeah.
hasn't been convicted yet. But the idea is, okay, she's running. That's how fucked up the system is. But how one person could vote to her for, and how the idea we have all these clowns in office. When do we turn around a little bit and say, "Hey, you're voting them in," or is this the talent pool so bad?
Hell, I think people are getting to the point where they're just disgusted with, the establishment around who gets voted in.
well, you know what?
I just think people have
George
had it.
Carlin has an interesting quote. He goes, "You know what happens on election day?" He goes, "I stay home," and then the people laugh. Of course, he goes, "You know why? Because if I don't vote, then I'm not responsible for the shitheads that are elected in there." And they could sit there and turn around and say, "Well, if you don't vote, you don't have nothing to bitch about." I'd sit there and turn around and say, "No, if you don't vote, I can bitch because I'm not the one responsible for
Exactly.
putting them in."
I can
Not my
bitch
fault I
because
voted
I'm
for-
not. I didn't vote for the person that's in office
Right.
making shit bad for
I know,
everybody.
Dave.
Yeah,
You have some
but
thoughts on
I-
voting,
look-
though. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think everybody should vote. I mean, it's
agree.
it's your right as a citizen. I take voting very serious. I try and study a little bit about the candidates that run. I mean, you brought up Leticia Estachio. I mean, people will vote for her, and unfortunately, that comes down to a race issue in the city. That people think that she's been unfairly persecuted because
Oh, she
she's
plays the victim,
a
too.
black woman, and unfortunately, on social media, that's proven out that people believe that. But
Well, everybody's a victim these days.
I think her issue is it's a little deeper than that. I think it also shows the impact, like what addiction does.
Well, I think people got sick of her too, where she's making almost 180 grand for something not even showing up to do a paper pushing job.
What?
Yo, she's making over 100, about
She's making
180
100
How do I get that job?
180 grand.
before
become
they
a
got
judge.
rid of her.
Yeah,
But I think
It's-
the system protects itself. Where people
Oh,
in there,
absolutely.
Sure
and then
it
I don't
does.
think that people like the fact that at the nightly news she's coming out of the courthouse, she's all smug and
That's
you know,
what pissed me off.
and-
He's
and-
just like, oh, look what I
Yeah,
got. No,
she's got this cocky ass smile on her face, and she's walking past everybody going, "Yeah, I'm still making my 180 grand. You little peons, get out of my way."
And I also look at it as like, for example, we have like a governor who's the son of a governor, and you look at his resume, he's never done anything. But I have a famous
No,
name.
I mean, he was, what was he, like the DA for New York City? Or
Not
something?
very well. He was in HUD.
I
He
get, I
didn't
get
do
it,
very
not
well.
very well. My problem is, like, I'm never voting for a Bush. I'm never voting for a Clinton. I'm never voting for a Cuomo. Like this, I'm never voting for a Kennedy. This whole, well, hey,
So you
I really like
basically just run out of
JFK, so
people.
therefore I'm going to vote for his, fifth descendant cousin's nephew's like what the fuck? Because his last name's Kennedy, he's got to be good. Give me a break.
And
George
the other part
Kennedy
of
for
it is
president.
not the names, but the little characters who sneak up through the political system and have never really done anything but have kissed the right butt and everything. That's the problem.
Rochester politics is loaded with that. I mean, everything goes back to David Gant. I mean, if you don't honestly, if you don't kiss his butt, you're not getting elected in the city of Rochester.
Yeah, and he's doing awesome for the city of Rochester. The city of Rochester is doing fucking great.
That's one question I always want.
How's that fast ferry working?
I'm going to say this.
Oh, did you see the latest article? They say the fast ferry could take down Venezuela.
I saw that. I didn't
Did you
read
see
it,
that?
but I saw it. I didn't read
read
it.
the whole
I
article.
read the article.
Yeah, I read
One
the
of the
article.
things I've often said, being a little dabbling in this over the years, as I said, like a David Gant or pick your favorite villain of the day, and tell the people who live in the district, okay, these clowns have been around how long? But every election they pose as, I'm the candidate for change, and I'm going to do better.
For change.
Because everybody falls for it.
No, yeah, I agree with
But
that.
ask yourself, has your life gotten better while these guys have been here?
Well, so I agree with Dave. Like, I think you should vote, right? Because if you don't, then you're stuck with whatever you get. And by the way, George Carlin, hilarious, love his humor, but I think you should vote, because if you don't, then 16,000 people are going to elect Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and you're going to be stuck with that shit.
Oh,
right?
God, you spoke ill of the phenom. They're going to kill us all.
Whatever. 16,000 people voted for
Well,
for
our
that
dear
fucking
mayor,
moron.
our dear mayor got in by like 70% of the vote because that's how many people voted.
But I'm using her as an example
Well,
because
she's an idiot.
because
she's completely.
she gets elected, and New York State actually was trying to do something well and get Amazon to make their second headquarters here. And she sits there and says, because she does not know economics.
With an economics degree.
From
doesn't she
from
live in a
Boston,
gated neighborhood
Boston
somehow?
College,
Boston University.
Boston University.
University.
If my
Even
kids were
bigger.
going to Boston University, I'd be showing up and go, give me my money back.
Well, actually, did you see where her mom lives now? She was
Yeah,
tired
Florida.
of the taxes in
Tired
New
of the
York
taxes
State
and
and
moved
ran
on,
away
right.
to Florida.
But she sits there and she says, you know, we could have used that $3 billion to fix the roads. What $3 billion?
Yeah, the $3 billion
What
that
$3
doesn't
billion?
exist.
It was an incentive. It's not like they're handing them $3 billion. They're saying you'll get a discount on your taxes if you do all this stuff, and they're going to bring in all this business. You got to retrofit buildings. You got plumbers, electricians, the people you hire, and she just fucking shot it right to the.
Well, did you
just
see
blew
how
it up like the
Did you see
Hindenburg.
how she's covered her ass? She said, "Well, we could reinvest that money in the state if we choose to, because there is no money. Like, well, we didn't choose to reinvest it."
And the other thing is, came out
to
about
me,
how she didn't give
that's-
benefits to her employees and everything, her staff.
She hasn't paid her taxes on a failed business she
And
owned.
how her gated community doesn't allow poor people in it.
Well.
There was a class action lawsuit about that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, that to me, that's what you get when you don't vote.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you get, right? You got no jobs coming in. You've got $27 billion in taxes gone over the next 10 years, gone because you voted. Because, wait a minute, maybe you didn't vote, but you let 16,000 people vote that goof into office.
Well, here's a controversial measure. Not on this show, no way.
No.
Should there be a litmus test for you to vote? Not in terms of
Yes.
pushing anybody up, but showing at least basic knowledge of.
I mean, it
At least
should,
naming
it should
who
be a
you know
little.
the candidates
It should
or
be a
something.
little more difficult than the entrance exam for Arizona State, where if you have a pencil, you're a valedictorian.
Well, listen, you
Or if you
can't.
got rich parents to buy your way in.
Oh, topical.
We will get into that. We'll get into that.
I don't agree with restricting voting at all. I mean, it's your right as an American citizen, and you shouldn't be
Well, you
denied.
said that too. You better be a citizen.
Well,
True.
Well, we're giving driver's license to people that aren't even
Well,
in the
I have to
country
say, my
illegally.
one.
Hell,
I have a pet peeve.
California, in the local elections, you can vote if you're an illegal.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Really?
I have one pet peeve with voting is they sell your name to telemarketers.
They do if you're registered to vote.
Well, go figure. Information is the king these
The
days.
hell.
you don't have to answer your phone.
No, I never do.
Just
I don't-
delete all
I
the
figure
if
emails
it's
on it.
important,
If
if it's
you're not on
important
my
enough,
list,
to
I
leave me a
decline the
message.
call.
Here's what I think's funny. So one of the things that I enjoy and don't enjoy is kind of bizarre, but I will listen. Like when I drive into work, I'll listen to MSNBC and Fox News. I'll go back and forth. It's fucking hilarious.
What about NPR,
It's
dude?
Occasionally I'll hit that one, but it's hilarious. Like try it one time. It's
My head would be
it's
spinning.
I know.
comical. It is absolutely comical. Fox News rips on MSNBC. MSNBC rips on Fox News.
Yeah.
MSNBC, it's all about take Trump down. Fox News, it's all about taking the Democrats down. It's fucking hilarious.
It's like pro wrestling.
It should be a reality. Yeah,
But
it
it
should
is
be
a
a
lot like pro
reality show.
wrestling.
It all goes
It
back
really
to
is.
pro
They're
wrestling.
playing
Everything goes back to pro wrestling.
It's WrestleMania week too, you know.
It's all opinions, and it's no reporting. And what I think
It's
is
because they're all fed a narrative.
I get it, but what's funny, you know, you're talking about voting, and I believe like you shouldn't restrict it. You should be able to vote. But I do believe, I don't understand what's the big deal about showing some ID to vote.
Yeah.
I don't get that one.
That's weird. I don't.
Yeah,
have to
I
show
don't
it.
have a
Like,
problem
like
with that.
show an ID.
Yeah,
like show that this is you. What, you just got to sign your name? Like no,
Yeah, that's all I have to do.
Right, but you should show an ID. Now the Democrats will say that's voter suppression because people can't get an ID.
Why?
Wait,
Why?
why? Right.
Because they want all those people flooding into the country because they're the ones that vote
Yeah,
Democrat.
wait,
So
why,
hold
why
on, I'm
can't they
getting to
get?
this.
Why can't they get an ID? I wonder to myself.
Yeah, right.
So the Democrats don't want people to show voter ID, okay? But then the Democrats show up and say, "Hey, we should probably lower the voting age to 16."
Right.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Really?
they don't pay taxes.
Like,
They're living off their parents. They're not paying taxes, property taxes, anything
Unbelievable.
else. So they're
Yeah,
going
they're going to be seduced.
I'll
by
give
the-
you I'll give anybody out there who doesn't want to vote. I'll give you this one. If you don't vote, the idiot next to you, not you, Zach.
Hi!
Will vote. And the thing is, I'll give you an example. During the 2016 election, my dad, who has unfortunately dementia, and hope he's okay and everything, but he wanted to vote, and he wanted to vote for Trump. And I asked him, why you want to vote for Trump? He said, well, he'll get the 7 dwarves their jobs back.
Good enough reason.
You know what? If he would have
so-
run on that platform,
Let's start naming them. They're all in government. aren't they?
Hold on. That actually makes sense. That actually makes sense because wasn't it Obama and them that like put all the restrictions on mining?
Whoa, my dad's smarter than I thought.
There you go, right? And Trump lifted them and opened
you
it back
go.
up. So the 7 dwarves got their jobs back.
But jumping around
How
is,
amazing. Your dad is so smart. I'm
I
telling
have
you.
Rage-Onomics
yes.
fact.
I mean, he will get a got the toad t-shirt.
I think that warrants one.
Oh, yeah. I think so. I mean,
he
that's
gets shirt number 1.
that's
But
brilliant.
one of the things I want to jump
they all
around
say
a little,
number
and
one.
we're being topical, and we jump around on this show to whatever we feel like.
Let's talk about kitty cats now.
And we'll talk about dumpster time, but that college scandal. And
Oh,
now
Jesus
thoughts, a little bit
Christ.
thoughts on that and on college in general.
well,
I got to
before we
be
go-
honest, I don't think I'd even go to it
No,
now.
before we get into that, did you see Lori Loughlin's kids are now blaming her for ruining their lives when the idiot daughter got her trademark paperwork kicked back for incorrect punctuation?
I read that. Yeah.
She didn't know how to use a fucking period and a comma, and yet her mother was the one that ruined her life by buying her way into
Everybody's a victim.
what, USC or UCLA, whichever one it was.
USC.
So first off, I'd be a little concerned, right? Because all you really needed to do was donate $500,000 to USC, and they would have taken your kids.
Yeah. Just a
Did you
donation.
ever hear the USC joke?
like,
What do you get for driving through USC's campus slowly for 4 years? A diploma.
Chlamydia? Oh,
So, yeah. But what was funny, so that one comes out, right? And, you know, everybody's railing on him and all this shit. And then you have all these other celebrities that are now, like, trolling her. And Dr. Dre puts, I'm proud that my daughter got in on her own merits. And then he immediately deleted it
Yeah.
because he donated $70 million to the school. $70 million to
Slight
build
little
a Jimmy
technicality.
Iovine, whatever.
it's like, well,
Your
what
music
would it take to
theory.
get my daughter in here? Well, Harvard could use its own international airport, you know.
Yes.
I'm just like $70 million to go to USC. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't think that school's that fucking
no,
great.
like, dude.
And by the way, if you got $70 million, why are you even sending your kid to that school?
Yeah, why are you even sending your kid to any school? They don't need
Hire a private
school.
tutor, let them get kind of figured to like really focus on what they need to do so they're not a fuck up. And
I mean, it's like,
there's your $70
Even if
million.
they are a
Enjoy
fuck
it.
up, invest the money smart. They can live off the interest for the rest of their
I'm a big
lives.
believer, and I know, Dave, you're in vocational training and alternatives.
Oh,
And I think
bring that
that's
all
very
along.
big.
Yeah, it's a but to get into this college thing, and I'll look at it from a different point of view than everybody else does. I don't have children, but if I did,
That we know of.
I'm not paying for them. Let me put it that way. That's the important part.
oh, God.
But it's if I did have children that I was paying for and I could help them in any way better their lives, don't you think I would? And I think most people would. These people just got caught. And how they did it, yeah, it's sketchy and probably a little illegal, but I can kind of see it. I mean, if you tell me that you're that outraged that people are doing this, didn't you help your kids get their first job? Didn't you, don't you help your kids as often as you can? And I understand it. Not saying I necessarily have the funds to pull this move. If I was in that situation, I don't. But if I did, I would consider it.
I think there's one difference now to when we went to school back in the 1920s or so. And that's
where everything was black and white.
The thing was,
literally.
though, when we first started college, at
Really
least I
had
know
to
on
see
my
at night,
side,
though. Oh, yeah.
I could afford my college living at home, working a part-time job, because it was not that expensive. Now it's a tad more expensive.
Oh, Jesus.
Just a tad.
It's like buying a house every year.
Oh my God, is it expensive? I got one kid going to Clarkson, and I got another one in juniors who's looking to go someplace that's not going to be cheap. And all I keep thinking about is, I don't understand why this is so expensive. I don't get it.
Grants, government grants, probably have something to do
Well,
with
you know what,
it,
Dad?
or-
I've really heard a lot about this University of the Bahamas. You son of a bitch.
Well, but the thing is,
Correspondence courses.
So my one son, he goes to Clarkson. He's going for engineering, chemical engineering. I'm like, okay, I can kind of grasp this one, right? You probably, if you do well in school, you're probably going to get a pretty good job, paying pretty well, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's this pressure that's put on all these kids. Like, you have to go to college. You have to go to college, and the way you brought it up is, we're going to run out of electricians. We're going to run out of plumbers.
Yeah.
We're going to
The
run
other
out
thing is,
of
unless it's like
carpenters.
medicine or engineering
I
or
mean,
science, why bother?
Yeah, like,
really, seriously.
Well,
unless
so
it's
my
like
youngest was looking at the school. So my youngest is really likes physics, and he wants to go for physics. And he tells me, "Hey, Dad, I'm thinking about going to this one school." And I'm like, "That's a really, really good school." He goes, "Well, I didn't know if I should have told you that or not." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Cool, because it's a liberal arts school." I says, "There's a difference between going to a liberal arts school and getting a liberal arts degree,
Right.
or going and getting
Like
a
my
specific degree for a specific industry, which is very much like going to a vocational school and learning how to be a welder, a mechanic, and those people make some nice money, and they can have a very good life, and some of them, the benefits you get when you retire."
Huge.
And it should
oh my
be cost
God.
benefit. It's like, is it worth it for what it's supposed to get me?
Exactly.
And the idea being like the old joke about, well, I'm a philosophy major, so what do you do? Well, I think deep thoughts about being unemployed.
Yeah.
Right. We called it the you want fries with that major.
Well, but that's the problem. You go out and blow all this money on college. You're in debt for who knows how many decades.
Yeah.
And then a lot of these people can't get a job in the field that they got their degree in.
Well, yeah, because it's like, well, what am I going to do with my degree in art study?
Well,
I don't
but
know.
But even if they got a halfway decent degree
Yeah.
in something, it doesn't guarantee
No,
a
it
job
doesn't guarantee-
anymore.
Right.
Well, you know who?
I'm not saying don't go to school, but I'm
No,
just
but
saying
just
that's how it's working
don't
out.
expect a guaranteed job.
Well, right.
But you know who is the champion of?
But the government's supposed to provide that for you.
Yeah, you watch.
that's a
And all
fair
these
point.
jobs you're getting degrees in are getting automated.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's-
Everything's getting
Oh,
automated.
I thought it was, all right, sad but yet awesome when all of a sudden there's this big debate on $15 minimum wage, $15 minimum wage, $15 minimum wage.
that debate
And
hurt
these people, $15 minimum wage. And then the next thing you know, you
It's
got
a
all
kiosk.
these, you got kiosks where you go up, punch your food order,
Yeah.
pay at the
Right.
kiosk, and then some machine, here's your food.
What did you-
That's what your
Not only
$15
that, but
got.
there's
All these
another
people
part
are
of the
just out
job
of employees.
here where I guess they deem like so many of the people, they don't trust their education, where now they press like you ordered the special meal. They have pictures on there because they don't think they can add. And then you have to put the thing on, flip the timer, turn it around. But I'm going to go back to a quick story about cost of college because our friend Jimmy Vito, as you know, he's got 3 kids. And I guess they have somebody tries to work with them to find the right school for them. So we joke with him about, Jim, where's your $2 million going to come from to pay for this?
Yeah, but
It's nuts.
to the vocational thing, you know who is the champion of bringing back the vocational schools is Mike Rowe.
Oh yeah, no, he actually does a really good
And
job.
if you've ever
promoting it.
seen him talk, he gave a really good speech to the Senate subcommittee. And in case people don't know, Mike Rowe, the host of Dirty Jobs, he's brilliant.
He's smart.
No,
dude.
he does.
He's a very smart man, and
Yes,
he is
talks
absolutely
really well.
correct talking about bringing back
Yep.
the plumbers and the electricians, like you were saying.
Yep.
Okay, for all those young folks out there who are dying listening to this because of the future, say we ask the question, how do I get a job? What would be the best advice to give them?
Well, there's many ways for that.
Stand on the street corner, dress flashy.
It's a law of large numbers. Getting a job is a law of large numbers. The more people you talk to about what you want to do and why you'd be good at it, you will get a job.
Well,
If you're sitting around waiting for somebody to come up to you, it's not going to happen.
Well,
I
everybody,
believe you should move to a big city.
the problem is these
don't have
kids
to.
feel entitled. Everything should be given to them, and there's not too many of them that really want to go out and work. And to answer what you just said, as far as moving to a big city, kind of depends. Take being a musician, I can say as an example. Being here in Rochester, New York, is going to get you nowhere. You know what I mean? You do have to get out into like a Nashville or a Los Angeles or New York. You have to be able to go and commingle and meet people, and that's how you get gigs. That's how you get jobs. And I would assume in some ways in the corporate media end of things, it's the same way. You have to rub shoulders with the people in the
exact same
business.
thing.
Well, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's the exact same thing.
That's a sad fact.
Well, if you're the best, let's just say I'm the best drummer in the universe, which, a lot
I
of
mean,
people
pretty
quite
true.
think I am.
Clearly.
No, but seriously, it doesn't matter. You can be the best drummer, musician, artist in your bedroom, even in Rochester, New York. It doesn't mean anything because Rochester, New York is really, no offense to everybody here at home, is really not the hub of anything like
No,
that.
we're not we've mentioned it before. We're not a first-tier city.
But using that example, right? It's and you said how do you get a job? You have to talk. It's a law of large
Networking.
numbers. It's networking. So in Rob's situation, okay, Rob, he's this phenomenal drummer. Rush is going to get back together, but you know what? Neil's not coming back. They need a new drummer. They're not going to just call Rob if they don't know who Rob is.
Yeah,
Rob's got to go out and they have to hear about him some way. They have to know who he is. They have to hear the music.
Very
and you
similar
only
to that.
do that by meeting people.
Very
and
similar to
talking
that. How do a lot of
people.
bands get together? How did they find this dude who's great? He
Well-
came to the audition.
I'll give you an example. I read Andy Summers from the Police's book a while back, and he was talking about way before the Police, he moved to London. He had no money. He had a wife and a kid, and he forced himself to go out every night in London and nurse one warm beer every night because it's all he could afford to try and meet people and bump into people to get somewhere in the music business. He didn't even want to do it, but he realized that was his job because he wasn't going to get anywhere else if he wasn't out there hobnobbing with
And actually,
people.
K.K. Downey's book, he almost did the same thing. Where he was going, you know whom. They were going to this meeting, other musicians.
But it's the same thing with any job.
And I'd actually point out my
really
good
is.
friend Meg Williams is going to be in town with a CD release in a couple weeks. She'd love to come on here and play, but she's in Nashville. And Michaela Davis, Maybird, other bands, they're signed with Rounder Records. Where is it? Nashville.
Yeah. But then you have to realize this, too. You're not the only guy going to the big city. So, you have to be where it's at. But then you got the next thing is how to get noticed because everybody else is there.
Well, it's
so
Yeah,
you have
and
to
you're
have
not-
your
and you're-
shit together.
And
when
you're
you
not
go
going
there.
to get the top job right away, right? So you got to start someplace, and it's with anything. Like,
Work
I
your way
want
up.
to be an attorney, and I want to be this phenomenal trial judge. Eventually, they're not going to immediately hire you as a judge. You got to earn your stripes.
You need to start with a nonprofit
And nobody's
or
gonna
something,
give it
doing
to
pro
you.
bono work to build up your chops and
Right.
meet people.
Now,
You don't know how many attorneys I know that have literally had second jobs stocking grocery store shelves when they were first starting.
I'll tell you, my
the people that are successful, they typically have done that, and the reason why I hesitate is the problem I have now is you have all these people that are successful because of fucking reality TV or fucking
for
Instagram,
nothing.
and all they're doing is just taking fucking selfies and just having
Money for
cameras.
nothing and your chicks for free.
Yeah, no shit.
well, and by the
It's
way,
a very good-
television networks out there, we are shopping the Rage-Onomics reality show.
But, you know that one attorney or whatever that sponsors us, didn't he? What was his
No,
job?
no, our sponsor, when he was in law school, and this is going back to the price of college, he paid his way through law school delivering crackers for Lance.
Didn't he work in a cemetery, too?
Oh, no, that was in high school. He was a dog grave digger at the Animal Rescue League in Pittsburgh.
a dog. Grave
Yeah, he would dig graves for dogs.
Well, that's easier than humans. It's a lot smaller.
Well, he
hole.
said the bitch ones were the German Shepherd graves in the winter because
Only
they set the ground on fire so they could actually get
Still have
through.
to go down 6 feet.
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah, I wondered.
3 feet
But no,
deep.
he delivered crackers for Lance,
Well,
and he had his route, and
that's great.
but
Okay, we'll have a little imagination stuff here. A couple questions. Okay, we get rid of all these clowns in New York. The zombie apocalypse tapes them up. We're here. You guys get to run the state. What's the best way to bring business
first thing I
and
do is I
everything here?
sell it to somebody else and let it be their problem.
What would you do to really bring honest business here and make it a place worth living?
That's so tough. The system is so corrupt.
But you get to. We're going to let you be a dictator for like a couple years till we restore order.
Oh, that's what we need.
Well, right.
I would lower taxes to start, because then you're going to encourage people to move here. I mean, this area has so much to offer, as far as, it's not New York City. It's not a concrete jungle. It's a beautiful area. There's tons of land. It's easy to get around. There's no traffic. I mean, you lower taxes, you give them incentives to build factories.
I think we also have to cut a lot of entitlements where you look, we're going to help you with the safety net, but you have to stand on your own 2 feet.
Well, so I think that's important, right? You can't give the house away with nothing in return, right? So incentives for job growth, lower taxes. I would also remove the amount of red tape involved in just starting a business.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I'm shocked you would say that. I thought you really enjoyed your interactions.
I would also improve technology and increase efficiencies within the government. And this is why I'd never get elected, because people that work for the government aren't voting for me, because more than likely half of you will lose your job, because I think the gluttony within government is amazing. Like, there are people doing things that could be done way quicker, way cheaper, way more efficient, which, by the way, now lowers the overall expenses that the government has to pay to actually run the government. And here's the other thing I don't understand. So employment's going down in the state. People are leaving. Employment's going down. We don't have as many businesses here, but our budget goes up. Like, we have less people, but the budget's higher than the year before and 2 years after that. How's that work?
Well, but here's one thing that I've just recently found out about. I thought it was very interesting, and it's definitely. I'm not an expert because I'm just starting to find out about this. But you have every year the governments, the cities, the counties, the U.S. We have our annual budget, tax budget, right?
I also had term limits, by the way. I had to throw that one in there.
Yes. So, well, it's like Jesse Ventura said. You get in and get out. You go back to being a public servant. You do your job.
That's what you were supposed to do.
Right. That's how it used to be.
Right.
But anyways, getting back to what I'm currently reading about. You got your tax budget reports. So we got X amount of taxes coming in every year, and we got X amount of fees going out. And if anybody knows anything about budgets, is you want to at least spend the same amount of money that you had coming in, because you want to lose it for the next year. So you at least have to spend the same amount, if not more.
That's in government, that is the dumbest theory ever.
Yep. And I tell you what, when I used to work years ago at Roll Photo, I get people coming in from Nazareth College or whatever, just buying tons of stuff. I'll take 6 of those, 4 of those, 3 of these.
If I don't spend it,
I lose it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Now that's point number 1. Here's point number 2. So this is what we are sold as American citizens, Rochester citizens, New York State citizens, as the budget's a lot more. We don't have enough coming in, so we got to cut. Well, obviously, the first things to go are aid to people, arts and music and schools.
It's never their jobs.
Right. It's never their jobs. But here's the thing. Check into something called the CAFR report. It's C-A-F-R. I don't remember what it stands for yet. Just finding out about this. But this is the true budget statement for everything. Whatever city you're in, town, state, the country,
CAFR?
even C-A-F-R.
Can't add financial revenue?
Exactly. That's probably it.
Wow.
No idea.
That was good.
It's amazing how you got that.
I know.
But anyways.
No clue if that's true.
Can't account for revenue.
There we go.
Can't account for revenue.
Probably what it means
probably
right there.
But actually, even the Federal Reserve has this thing. And what this is the true financial statement of the assets of everything. Because every city, every county, every state, including the country, is a corporation. And nobody realizes that these are corporations. if you study a CAFR report for anything, I watched a guy who's smart about this stuff go through various towns, various cities, looking at CAFR reports. It lists assets. These cities, towns, counties have billions of dollars in assets that they don't tell anybody about. They invest in pension funds. They invest in every major company in the country. The government owns the biggest share of almost every company you've ever heard of. The government does. But and they have billions of dollars sitting there. But they won't tell you about this. It's in plain sight. You can go look it up. The city of Rochester, the city of whatever, has millions, if not billions of dollars sitting there. But they don't take the money out of that. They don't sell the citizens on this. They want you to say, well, we only got X amount of millions in taxes coming in, and we don't have enough going, or we got more going out than we're coming in. Yeah, but what about all the millions sitting there in real estate and pension funds and all this other shit that you guys got? You've got more money than you know what to do with. But they don't want us to know that.
Right.
And I not dare anybody, do what you want. I don't care. Look up CAFR.
Okay, look, you know what? I learned something.
They want to take it out of our ass, but they're sitting on all this money.
And if that's accurate, going back to your initial question, I'd be selling that shit off.
And we'll be getting on a future episode. We'll be talking more about the presidential election and everything. But for now, what would you say would be one of the top issues, in your opinion, that we have to really, really deal with in this country?
There's too many.
Our deficit.
Yeah.
Dude, our deficit's crazy.
People don't get that because people think, gimme, gimme, gimme. They don't realize the cost of this.
That's the thing. They're getting free shit, but it's coming from somewhere. Someone's paying for their free shit.
I'll give you well, first off, I think in elections, if you tell enough people free, you'll get the votes.
Oh, it's like the tax commercial right now. Free.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Free.
But I'll give you a really good example. Everybody's heard about this Green New Deal and all this bullshit, right? And they're going to do the marginal tax rate and blah, 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 blah. And I think the estimates for the Green New Deal were like $32 trillion. I think I've read multiple reports, and I think it kind of falls into that number. There are, I don't know, like 580 billionaires in the U.S. 580, okay? Forget marginal tax rate. If you took all of their wealth, added it all up, it's $2.3 trillion.
Yeah, it wouldn't even cover it.
It's not, forget the marginal tax rate. All they keep saying is, we need to tax them more. If you took all their money, you're still $28 trillion behind.
Well,
but here's the bigger picture. Not enough people know anything about the Federal Reserve and centralized banking.
Well, all you got to do is print more money, man.
But
just turn the mint on and crank out a couple million.
But here's the deal: you know how much money we pay in interest every year on just the physical money that's created when our government has the power to print it for free. But why don't we print it for free? Because all these guys are in bed with the bankers that own the Federal Reserve.
But you can't print it for, if you just go and print money.
You know how much it costs to print $1 bill?
Hold on, but you throw more money into the marketplace, the value goes down. It's supply and demand.
No. I'm just simply stating the money that's being printed right now. Right. Instead of the Federal Reserve making 10% on every dollar, whatever it is that's printed, we can save that and print it ourselves. Our government has the power to do that. So I'm not saying print more money. I'm just saying the shit that is printed is costing us money. Every dollar that's printed is debt.
Well, I get, yeah, because we're I forget what the number is. We're like $2 trillion or like a crazy $1 trillion number in debt. We are in debt.
It's over $3
If every dollar bill was recalled and all the debts were paid, every dollar, there would be no money. Well, money is debt.
Yeah, it's created as debt. I agree that it's debt because we are behind the 8 ball. So you're talking about the biggest issue that we have right now is our debt.
Correct.
The debt that the U.S. has is fucking stupid.
It's ungodly.
And all you hear these people talk about, and by the way, wake up, America, because all they're going to tell you is what they think you want to hear about how your life's going to be better and they're going to give you free shit. We don't have money to pay for the free shit.
Right.
There's no more fucking money.
Good, yeah, you get good luck getting health care for all.
Oh, my God.
Good luck trying to get in to see a doctor.
I think everybody should read the book by G. Edward Griffin called The Creature from Jekyll Island. I read it a couple months ago. It's 600 pages. It's the history of centralized banking, and it's been going on for years.
That sounds interesting.
You're gonna have to send me that.
It's an excellent book. It'll tell you everything you need to know. He's got videos on YouTube about what a scam that we have been played by these bankers. The Bank of England is one of the biggest culprits. Why do you think like Andrew Jackson, a lot of presidents have been either murdered or attempts have been on their lives?
On the bank there, dude.
Is because these guys fought against the centralized bank. Now, the Federal Reserve that we have now is at least the third, if not the fourth attempt. And just to give you a quick history, this was passed on Christmas Eve in 1913 when everybody went home in Congress for the holidays because they snuck it in, kind of like Cuomo with his fucking gun bill when he came in here at 11 o'clock at night and you know what I mean? Why are you hiding this? These guys are all in bed together. And these bankers
and they keep getting fucking reelected.
It's like on a small thing. Our town guys gave themselves raises on 4th of July day when nobody was around.
Nobody's looking.
First off, that's another bullshit thing. Like, you work for the government, you represent your constituents, and you can vote for your own pay raise.
I could have sworn they
Like,
put an
what
amendment
the
in the
fuck is
Constitution
that?
about that. Yeah, call me crazy, but these people that love to throw the Constitution out there, they kind of forget that one.
But gentlemen and Zach,
Ah.
it's been loads of. You guys will have you back again to talk about whatever you want very soon.
But wait, real quick.
But
to
we
go
got
back
more
to the,
stuff to
go
talk
back
about.
to the debt thing. You know how much it costs to make a penny? Was it 1.7 cents?
It costs more to make it than it's worth.
And yet we still pump out shitloads of them. So every penny costs 1.7 or 1.6 or 1.7 cents to make.
But I wanted to toss this one out there. Thoughts on the Steelers?
I'm just getting into the Red Sox. It's baseball.
Well, I'm a Red Sox person too.
I'll start. Good riddance to bad assholes. Bye bye Le'Veon Bell. Bye bye Antonio Brown. Have fun in Oakland and with the Jets.
New York. Yeah.
I still think.
Well, Dave's a Jets fan. You know, what do you think about getting Bell? Then that's a different perspective.
I really don't follow pro football
Oh
anymore.
yeah, I know that.
I couldn't tell you anything.
He signed for less money
That's
than
the
he would have
thing.
gotten for this.
He signed for less money.
yeah, but his guarantee was higher.
Was it?
His initial guarantee.
Oh, his
was
initial
higher.
guarantee,
Right. But how the Steelers one would have played out
we don't know.
over 2 years, it would have been way more money than what he
Right.
got. But I mean, this to me, when you're about yourself and not the team, that you get what you get, and that's what the Steelers had. And I still go back to this falls on the head coach not being able to control your team. Like,
Well, when the players are making more money than the coach.
okay, but you got players in New England making more money than the coach, right? And they're bought in, and it's do this, and if you don't follow like the playbook, right, you're off the team, and you keep tolerating it. You keep like go back to the Steelers in the old, like, you mess up and you're out and you get caught driving your car drunk, you were off the team.
look,
you're done.
But here's the problem. You can be a complete fuck up, and the team, let's say the Steelers say, you're out of here. We're not putting up with that shit. But the guy knows in 5 seconds somebody else is going to sit there and go, here's all the money you want, we'll take
the best one. You remember Jeff?
at baseball,
You
man.
remember Jeff Reed,
easy.
the kicker?
Oh my God!
He
what a moron.
Donna Reed?
He got high and beat up a soap dispenser in a bathroom. That is documented. That happened.
I remember.
Yeah, I've heard the soap dispenser is suing, by the way.
Oh yeah, for emotional damage. But the Steelers responded by trading him across the country to San Francisco. They shipped him literally across the country.
He's a kicker.
Yeah,
But no. So to your point, yeah, they're like, okay, we'll get rid of him because he's a kicker. We'll find another kicker. And I think people are worried about getting rid of like a talent like a Bell or a talent like a Brown. I thought it was great when Larry Fitzgerald comes out and says, "Dude, I've been playing with 7 different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You've got a future Hall of Fame, and you're complaining."
yeah, exactly. He basically told Bell to shut the hell up,
But
or not Bell, Brown.
it is what it is. You drafted them. They did well when they were there, but you allowed them to kind of become who they are, and you got to deal with it. And they did it, but it's going to be.
But I will say one thing that Brown should be worried about. John Gruden is not Mike Tomlin. He's not.
Right.
He's not going to let him walk over the team
Yeah, but I still don't understand why you get rid of Khalil Mack.
because Khalil Mack was a shit ton of money, But
So
worth
you
it.
get a
Look what he
player-
did
you
as
get a
soon as he
player
got
like
to
that
Chicago.
that comes
He
around
was an
once
animal.
a decade. You don't get rid of him.
I
And
don't
Khalil
like
Mack,
that one.
UB.
Like that one, that one I didn't see, but
Don't they have 3 or 4 first-round draft picks this year?
Yeah,
I mean,
they got
yeah.
all these draft picks just in time to piss on Oakland and piss off to Vegas.
hey,
Yeah, then we'll be good.
But we'll talk more because I'm a Red Sox fan so a little bit. So we'll talk more baseball. Then.
Baseball.
But the only thing I'd say, anybody got anything about music lately you've been listening to or you've been seeing? Or
did you check out the new Rammstein song video?
all I think
they're
of this
putting out new
song,
shit?
Mutter,
Dude,
man.
it's awesome. So first off, they got shit on hard because they did like a little clip, like a teaser, and it's got like the members and they're dressed up like concentration camp.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
I
Right,
saw
and they
something
got
about that.
like, I can't believe that. People are like, I can't believe that. You watch the video and it's like, no man, those guys got their revenge. It's like, okay, man.
I had
it's
a
like you
horrible
guys just
experience.
jump to a conclusion
Yeah, well,
without seeing the whole thing.
I had a horrible
That's the American
experience
way.
feeling my age. So Dokken was in town a little while back, and I guess he did an acoustic. Said, I guess Buddha Pub's going to close, so Dokken's in town. So our friend of the podcast, my friend Tommy, it was his birthday at the Bug Jar. He had some bands playing, Collins Band, Howlin' Collins Band, the Crazies played, and these younger kids are going around about, who's Dokken? And I'm trying to explain.
You
And,
Philistines.
and one girl says, they sound lame.
Oh, hold on. I got one.
Such a hard
Did,
German name.
did anybody here watch the movie Dirt?
Oh, you mean the Motley Crue
Motley
thing?
Crue one?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
Dirt.
I saw it.
Okay, what'd you think?
It was all right, but it wasn't great. I mean, none of the... I was watching the trailer even before I saw the movie. I was trying to figure out who was who because the guys looked nothing like the guys they were portraying, except you could pick out Vince because he was the only blonde guy, but I'm like, oh, that guy's supposed to be Mick Mars. I got it. Okay, that one. When I watched the Queen movie, those guys looked a lot alike the people they were portraying.
That was a great
movie.
movie.
The Queen movie was great. The Motley movies are. I mean, the squirting in the beginning that just sets the tone right there for the whole thing. By the way,
Spoilers. Jesus Christ.
I would give it like a 6 or a 7.
I mean, we went
So
to...
you're more generous than me. I watched the movie as like a 2.
I mean, we saw Ozzy and Motley Crue, you guys.
Yeah,
right?
I was
you
at
guys,
that show.
did you guys meet him at the House of Guitars? Because remember, it was like the line
No.
was so insane, I left.
No. But that scene that they got Ozzy doing in the movie, that it's quite interesting, and it all happened. I'm surprised they didn't put the part where he shit in the elevator or whatever. I mean, that could have been in the movie, but I guess he had added some stuff.
Well, we have
that's
to
in
add
the bonus
The one thing I
section.
want
Bonus
to add,
section,
and this hit
DVD.
us all right around the time we're a little farther removed from, but Ozzy was playing in Rochester for Diary of a Madman. Randy Rhoads died how many weeks before that? A couple.
Couple. He had Bernie Torme,
Bernie Torme,
who just died,
and
unfortunately.
reading Riding the Rails, or Rudy Sarzo's book, he said Brad Gillis was there
Waiting in the wings.
trying to learn.
Yeah.
And remember, Ozzy was sick, man. Remember, he had like a cold or something. I remember that night.
Yeah, I didn't go to the show, but I know Bernie made it clear that he was only going to be
Yeah.
temporary. He wasn't there.
So we missed Randy Rhoads by a couple
weeks. Yeah, what a shame. Yeah, he just the anniversary of his death was just a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
so-
37 years. He's been dead 12 years longer than he ever lived. Tell me that isn't
God.
It's always that what if with him. He was so talented, and he would have been in Gothic Toad.
I don't know if he would have been good enough at that point.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a tough one. That's a big statement.
Yes.
That's a big statement.
But again, you guys, been a blast.
Yeah, coming back.
And coming back.
Sure.
Still not sponsored by New York?
no fucking
But
way,
any
man.
parting words, parting
Cuomo.
shots, say whatever you want to say.
I think Jeff has some parting words, as the last time and as the beginning of the show. Jeff has some words.
Well, let me see. I don't know if I can top fuck New York State.
No, that's what I was expecting.
I mean,
Well, now
Look,
you're going to have to go to a different state. Like, screw you, Oklahoma.
look, fuck Cuomo, man. Like in that whole group, it's a fucking joke. It's an absolute fucking joke. Wake up, people. Like, do yourself a favor and get educated on this shit.
Yeah.
Just do yourself a favor and get educated.
Don't watch the news. Don't read what you read on social media. Start looking into things.
Yeah,
that
go a little further than the
dig
headline.
deeper than
Yeah, go a little further than
Facebook.
Go a little further than doctors hate this. Number 12 will shock you.
Remember, John Adams, not our John Adams, but the second president said, "We'll last as long as the public's vigilant." and informed."
If your political views are built off of what you see on Facebook, God help you.
No,
Well,
that God
I got a parting quote for you. And I can't remember. I think it was Mark Twain who said this. It is easier to fool somebody than to convince them that they've been fooled. And that's 99% of the population.
Well, I like that.
But see, listen to us
that's
because we
social
tell it
media.
like
I like
it
that.
is here. We're not social media for this, if this counts, because we tell
By
it
the
like
way,
it is.
don't forget to check out our social media accounts.
Hey, look,
All I do is post
I'm
weird
railing
pictures.
on social media.
But the thing is,
I
all
invested in Facebook. I'm making some nice money on that
all
one.
I do is post weird ass pictures on Facebook or on Instagram.
Dave, you got anything?
I got nothing. It's all been summed up.
The knowledge of this. But
Oh, I'll do a quick throw to the sponsor, Upsitnik and Associates, lawyers for the people, from Alaska to the Supreme Court. Upsitnikslaw.com, Upsitnik and Associates on Facebook. When's Gothic Toad going to sponsor us?
I don't know. Once we get the T-shirts, I think we'll be.
if
up
you
and
guys
running.
get together and do the song "Fuck New York," we'll play it at the end of one of these. But
Maybe.
I know
if we get the
Sheldon.
rights.
The only thing Sheldon said was "fuck Twizzlers" when he ran out of them.
Oh.
But for now, my friend's Pink Elephant, and Nick Walter. He was here when we had Fox 45 on.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
Eric
know
and those guys will probably be on sometime. They're more in Jan the actress now. Nick's in Fox 45. They're having a new release soon. But they do a song basically about how much Rochester was fucked up and everything. It's from their album called Pink Elephant, surprisingly, if it's Pink Elephant.
No.
And I know a lot of us have seen Pink Elephants, but it's called Silver Spoons and City Maps. And we're going to play that at the end, and I think it'll go good. So for us, for all you guys, for Zach, we'll see you again. And
Yep. Stay on the straight and narrow, and we miss Walter Cronkite, the reliable journalist he was. So, anything else? Other than that, we wrap it up, and we'll move on before New York comes for us.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you again.
All right, thanks.
Money now, so they say. Benefit investment boards. They want their cake in our downtown. Without us here, to fuck it up. They tear it up. They build it down. They're full of shit. They're liars. The FIS will push us out.